Welcome to the Red Zone. Xolisa, let me ask you,
Thank
first
you.
of all, to what extent are luxury brands battling in this tough global economy?
Well, because it's a very niche market, and that the luxury brands, it's something of preference. And if you look at the global crisis, it has tackled most of the middle class people and not necessarily the high end of people. So the brands are still moving, but not as fast as one would.
Are luxury brands bulletproof?
No, they're not. No, they're not. So is everything. I mean, if one thing that the recession has taught us, nothing is bulletproof. It's just that it's an issue of preference. You know, when somebody makes that first 10 million and they want to reward themselves, there's nothing stopping them from rewarding to them from what they've been dreaming to get for all these years. And it's because we're not trying to get high volumes. You know, we're trying to sell one product maybe in a specific period of time. So they're not intentionally bulletproof, but they do go through troubles as every other brand, but they resist in most cases.
Okay, we can talk about the resistance in just a moment, but I'm assuming then that the marketing and the sales strategy has changed. You've got to do things differently. In what way?
Yes, you have. If you go to the traditional way of marketing, you find a lot of people pumping a lot of money at mass marketing or traditional forms of marketing. And the marketing strategy has to change because you're trying to get a bit of much more focus, a much more narrowed, a much more directive way of reaching your clients.
So how do you do that?
Well, with Luxury Brand and Luxury Network, what we do is that we get the business-to-business events. We've got the clients-to-business event and the client-to-client events. The majority of the things is to be able to get the people that are actually in the process or are actually in affording of these particular luxury goods or sales or
so
services.
It's all about the tactility. You've got to get rich people into a room to experience the brand.
Correct.
How do you do that?
Well, there's various ways of doing it. I mean, you bring people to specific experience because luxury is basically an experience. It's not necessarily a product or service. You are selling an experience to somebody and that becomes a luxury experience to that particular person. You get people into different events. You get people into different experiences, into different channels where they would never had access to before. You get them where you see a specific luxury brands in an example of executive jet in the middle of Lanseria. Beautiful private jets parked at their hangar airports, and a lot of people get to experience or be able to fly in that, or not even have a sense to think that they can afford to be able to fly on private jets.
So how does the luxury network work in order to optimize that relationship between the different brands?
Well, what we have done as a luxury network is that we've gotten brands. We've gotten different high-end brands of different sectors in South Africa and in Africa to be able to say, this is the space at which you guys operate. What are the synergies? What are the common goals can you guys be able to share in some of the events that you do? And part of which is sharing their databases. We're talking about high-end directors, senior level, where people can be able to sit down there and say, look, if we want to be able to do business with somebody in Nigeria, Ghana, or in South Africa, or Cape Town, Johannesburg, they can be able to make those decisions right there and there.
But the database is gold dust.
The database
and
is
also,
gold dust.
if I am a high-end or high net worth individual, I don't want my information shared with other luxury brands. How do you manage that process?
Well, it's also true, but you have to understand this is not a competitive environment. We put these brands in a non-competitive environment where if you have a database, it's basically similar to what I have. And if you compare those databases, it's not that it infringes on your sales or it infringes on your product being moved out of the market or being moved in sales. These people, that's what they're buying into, you know, and that's the commonality in the space because they've been doing it for many times. If you look at the concept of affinity marketing, a lot of companies do it, but we get into an extent of becoming the extra arm in the specific companies' marketing departments where we specialize and specifically focus on the affinity marketing to say how can we best put strategies in place to make this much more efficient, much more effective for you.
How does one become a luxury brand and join the network?
Well, it's a 12-month membership. It's joined on an annual basis.
But you're going to be very discretionary about who you invite in. Not every brand is a
Not
luxury
every brand.
So it begs the question, what is a luxury brand?
Correct. It is by invitation only. Yeah. And as I've said before, you know, what is a luxury brand? Everybody asks. There's luxury everywhere. You open the internet, everybody writes luxury. There's B&Bs who've got luxuries. Everybody's got luxury in the term luxury.
And the term has become devalued.
It's become a value in terms of it. But as I said, it's an experience. You know, somebody comes into a place and they don't experience that particular luxury. It it does not have that effect because people are willing to pay for it. People, it's determined by quality, it's determined by price scarcity, and all those elements in between. And people, that's what they are looking for. And if you find the people in the high end, I like to call it the high end of the food chain, they are looking for new experiences, you know, because money is not really an issue, but we're looking at what is it that is unique that I can have different to what everybody else has.
Very quick question in conclusion. Are there lessons here from this affinity strategy for brands that are not luxury brands?
Yes, they are. I mean, I think the concept can be shared in the market. People can learn in terms of being able to partner with other people, to be able to use the whole affinity concept efficiently within their efficient spaces, because this far what people have done is that they've put in people in one room and say, well, share ideas, good luck, hope it all works for the best. Nobody has actually have done and take it to the level that Luxury Network has done, to be able to fine print, to fine tune, to look at the fine linings into it, and to be able to say how best can we make this concept work and work best for everybody involved.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.